we are going to have here, I didn't know which way to go. It's a cross between a chowder and a gumbo. You got a lot of ingredients here that go in gumbo and a lot that go in a chowder. So we're going to call it a chowder. And just look at what we have in here. When this is all said and done, this is going to be like an outstanding dish. So it's not cheap, okay, but you know, sometimes you have to spend a little money. We got a pound of shrimps. I'm using 10 and unders because I had them in the freezer, so that's what we're using. You don't have to use this size. It's just that the technique should be followed. We're going to boil this nice sweet corn. You see the yellow and white kernels this time of year? Oh, this corn is delicious. Steamed, grilled, but not really boiled a lot because all the flavor goes in the water. But we're boiling this because we're going to make our own stock. Not using chicken stock, vegetable stock, beef, we're not using any stock. It's all coming from the flavors that are here. So when I boil up the corn, we're going to have a water that has the corn flavor. And when we put the shrimp skin shells in there, that's going to give off some flavor. And what we have here, garlic, leeks, onion, celery, bay leaf, thyme, oregano, and I wasn't going to put okra, but I noticed it in the produce section today, and I go, you know what? That is going to work with this. And everything here is going to work. The potato is going to give it a little body, so we don't have to use any flour to thicken it. So it's really gluten-free. And chorizo, instead of using bacon or andouille sausage. So, and a little smoked Spanish paprika, which gives a nice little flavor. So everything here is going to work together and come out with a dynamite dish. Let me cut everything up, boil the corn, and let's get started. So actually the most difficult part of this recipe is just getting everything together. You got to do a little shopping. So there's the corn, there's a high flame. We're going to bring that to a boil. And I'm going to peel these shrimps right now, split them down the back a little bit to clean them. And then since they're so huge, you don't want these in the soup, everybody's going to be grabbing one. Then I'm going to just cut these up. If you use little shrimps, small shrimps would work perfect if you want to see visible whole shrimps. It's just when you add them is crucial. This I'm going to cut up in little pieces, you'll see them. It's going to be put into the soup at the very end, like 1 minute before you're ready to serve. So no reason to watch this. We're going to boil this until the corn is tender with the shrimp skins, and just with a few bay leaves. Okay, while the corn and the shrimp peelings were boiling, I went about cutting everything up. That takes some time. This could be set up like the day before, really, if you wanted to. The potatoes in small pieces, you may not even see them by the time it's finished cooking. And the shrimps, I cut them up. You will see them in there, even though these are small pieces. And this way, when you're eating the soup, on every spoonful, you most likely will have a piece of shrimp. Whereas, really, if you use the small ones, you'd be either leaving them and waiting or just eating them all. And then we have the chorizo diced up small. We're going to saute this. There's the okra, the garlic in big chunks. I like to bite into a piece. And here's the celery, leeks, onions, and the spices. So this we're going to save towards the end because I want to see some of the tomato in there. Everything else will go in my large skillet together. And I think that has a nice aroma. The corn And the shrimp skins, I can smell it throughout the house, mainly the shrimp skins. I'll give that another 2 minutes. Take the corn out, wait for it to cool. And while that's cooling, I'm going to strain this in a chinois. While it's cooling, I will saute the vegetables. So there aren't too many steps. Okay, we'll be back soon. Well, we're going to start sauteing, so I'm putting a little butter in there. You can put butter in oil, or you can just put and don't make it hot like I just did. See how it browned already? You use olive oil or your favorite oil, it won't brown. Put the chorizo in there. With the vegetables. I'll hold back on the potatoes until this is done. We're not looking for color. What we want to do is just saute, translucent, bring out the flavors of everything instead of just dumping everything in there. But you really should do it like so. And you should also add, I mean, you don't have to add it right now, but if you add a little salt and pepper, this makes me feel good. So that is my salt and pepper mix. Good to have ready. Just sprinkle a little over it. That might be enough. And at the end, we won't have to add any more. Except my wife, she'll always add more salt. Yeah, I like the way that looks already. And everything in there is going to work together. We have a quart of, we almost had a quart of stock, and then we're going to have a quart of water along with that. So we're going to put 2 quarts of liquid in there. And that's not talking about the heavy cream. The heavy cream will come at the end. And my scallions, I have to cut them up. I always forget the scallions. Why? Because I put them in at the end, not now, so I forget. That's why. Go down your list, check everything off. And you'll have no problems. This smells good already. Just about ready to add everything else. So I'm going to drain the potatoes right now. You know, if you have one of these, what a great item to have, these Chinese skimmers. I use this for everything. And it holds up just as long as something made of like stainless steel. And it has a large like bowl, works well. There go the potatoes. I'm liking the aroma. in that stock with the corn and the shrimps. I'm tasting the shells. I'm looking at my counter and I saw something that I forgot, but you know, it's no big deal because what it is can go in whenever you want. That's the green pepper. So we're going to, I'll add that in just a few minutes. Let's draw back on this. Bring this to a boil, let it simmer until everything's ready, and then we're almost done. No reason to waste film right now. Well, I just got finished shaving the corn, and don't worry about getting too close to the cob. It won't allow you to cut into the cob. Your knife can't be that sharp. So it has to look good and it has to taste good. So first thing we do we have the look here? Yes, we have the look. You know what's missing here? Something nice and red. I should have put, thinking about it, I was going to put some red pepper in there. Not for anything but the color, because color's important. But then again, when the heavy cream goes in there, this thing is going to get a nice white look about it. So what are we waiting for? We're waiting for this to boil, and for when the potatoes are done, this thing is ready. Well, now we have a fast boil. You don't really need a fast boil. So I'm concentrating right now on the ratio of solid to liquid. And that will determine if I really lower the flame or I keep it going like this. I'll keep it going like this, let it reduce. Because you know what? It's easy to add, but it's not easy to take out. To add more liquid is no big deal. And this won't take more than another maybe 6 minutes. Now whenever I make these recipes, don't think I've made them before. They're all on the fly. All brand new recipes. I just try and think of items that I can put together. There are the scallions. Cut them on a bias because they look prettier. Now I taste. Well, one thing for sure, it'll definitely need some more salt. And we'll just let it cook more. And this is going to be nice and thick. I mean, not that the liquid will be thick, but it'll have a lot of ingredients, so it won't be a watery looking chowder. Okay, we're going to finish this up now. Raise the flame. That's a good ratio, liquid to solid. That looks good, see? Not too watery. Everything is ready. Put the tomatoes in there. Give this about 2 minutes, and then along with the tomatoes, we're going to put the heavy cream. I'll start off with a half a cup, and that's probably going to be enough. Get it all out of there, so give it a rinse right there, like so. Yeah. It's almost clean enough where you could put it away. Jokingly. Now this will come to a nice rapid boil. As soon as it does, the shrimps are going in. I already added a little more salt and pepper. I would be safe to say that this is enough for 4 people. Since it's a pound of shrimps, that'll be giving them a quarter of a pound each, even though it's not really, because the shells do weigh a fraction thereof. Let's give this another taste. It's amazing what heavy cream does. So we're going to add the shrimps. But let's say it's enough for 3 people. We want them to be happy. Now I'm going to make some garlic bread with mine, and if that's what you'd like to do, and if you think you know how to make garlic bread, good. But you should look at my recipe for garlic bread. You'll be surprised. It's simple, and the color always looks good, and so is the taste. Now you can see the pieces of shrimp in there. Let this come to a boil and it's done. As soon as I have that boil, you really can't miss seeing shrimps, even if they're cut this small. Oh, well, there we have the red. We have the tomatoes for the red color and for a little taste. One more quick taste after I throw the scallions in there. Or just make this for yourself. You can put this in containers in the refrigerator. Play it safe, let's say 3-4 days without a problem. Or just freeze a couple of containers. Bring them back, don't put them in the microwave. Put them in a skillet like this, a low flame. Reboil them, and they come together. A drop more of salt and pepper, and if you like to add a little hot sauce, do it, because that chorizo you'd have to put an awful lot in there to really get the spice out of it. And here we go. We're done. That's it. Shrimps are cooked. Everything's ready. Now put it in the bowl and eat it and enjoy it. Thank you.